Hey, John here again. So I got this 110 Yamaha little mini bike, dirt bike here, dropped off. I have no information on it. I don't even know what year it is. The person that dropped it off is a customer of mine, but he doesn't own it. It's for somebody else. So no information to go on other than it doesn't run. No information like did it run and then it quit, or has it run in a year or two, you know, any of that stuff. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at it and see what's wrong with this thing. And all we're going to do is think fast, right? Fuel, air, spark, timing. So I think the easiest thing is, I don't know, see if we can get the seat off, see if we can see some stuff, and start with just to see if it has spark to begin with, and then most likely it's probably just gas related, but we'll see what happens. Looks like the gas tank is just held on by a strap. I guess before we go taking everything apart, I was going to take these little skirts off next, and it looks like we can get to 2 bolts here for the gas tank so we can lift it up. But let me just check for spark first. Again, I know nothing about this bike other than it's got an engine on it. My spark tester doesn't have like a little bit of carbon on there, but the little screw type, so we'll just do it off the block or off something metal here. I just want to see if there's spark. I don't know if there's an on-off switch. I see a starter down here. I can't believe this little thing has a starter. It's got a kickstart button. And there's a starter button here. Where's the, that's a kill switch. Oh. I'm assuming this is the ignition. Doesn't look like a fork lock or nothing, but it ain't turning. Well, that might be the problem right there. Again, I have no information to go on, so I'm flying blind here, but this thing does not turn. Yeah, guess we weren't looking at the same thing. The actual switch, not the kill switch, but this is in the run position. I'm assuming this needs to be turned on, and it's like locked in a position where it can't turn it. So it's either sat out and just frozen in place and you can't turn it, and maybe that's why the person, I don't know. Again, no information. So let me take that apart. See if we can free that up. It's got a kickstart, and it's got a battery and a starter, but it's also got a kickstart. So maybe if we can get this off, we can, I don't know, just bypass it and see if it'll actually run. Oh, geez. And we'll see what the dealio is. I don't know how many wires go to this thing. 2, 4. This actually holds part of the handlebars down, so that's probably why they were tight. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, so I just took this, it just wraps around the handlebars, 2 little thingamajiggers, and one screw right there, which this was on the other side, right, and it just looped around here. Unhooked it at the connector. This is what I'm talking about. The key is actually frozen, so it won't work, and it doesn't appear, sorry about the bad lighting, it doesn't appear we can get into this thing without breaking it. So I don't know how common these things are for going. Again, this is not my, just looking at it for the guy. So I got a jumper wire in here, right, where the connector went, and poof, we have, actually, let's see if we get spark. Spark plug's still out. Oh yeah, there's spark. So let's put it back in and see if this thing starts up. This reminds me of, I had this 04 Polaris, and I lost my key, or I didn't lose it, it was in my glove, right, and I didn't realize it, and came out of the restaurant, and I couldn't find my key for the life of me. Of course, I didn't put my glove on yet, and some dude just reached under there and in the cowl of the snowmobile, unplugged the harness, and the thing, it was a pull start. You could pull it and it started right up. This is almost the same thing. You unplug it, it still won't start, but you just jump to 2 wires. It's just a 2-wire connector, you know. It's just, you know, because it's got its own starter. This is actually not the starter too. This is just basic another kill switch, you know, like a run switch here. So we can at least get it started. Well, let's see if it starts. Anyways, let me put the spark plug back in. Alright, well, I put the spark plug back in, and you see this battery here, which I don't have a battery like this, so I just tested it. It's kind of weak, and I don't think it's going to start. So it might have a twofold problem, you know, as far as spark. No spark and now no gas, maybe. Yeah, I just tried starting it, and it didn't even want to bump. So let me see if I can get this on a charger somehow. I think it's one of those. I think it's one of these funky batteries where you can't. You know, it's got no positive and negative. I mean, it's got positive and negative, but you know, like so, not your average fella. As far as I'm concerned, not your average fella. So, but there is a positive and negative lead. Let me see if I can get a battery charger on this and get this thing charged up. In the meantime, I think we can kickstart it. I think we could keep going as far as trying to get this thing started with the kickstart. But let me see if I can, you know, put this on a charger. Yeah, that'll work. It's just a little 2 amp hour battery, but at least we can start charging it. So, and I took the spark plug out again to see if we can leave it the way it was, right? And just if this thing sparks now with a kickstart, right? Yeah, it's sparking. So we can keep going. Yeah. So while I got that thing open, I'm just going to hit it with a little starting fluid in the hole, right? And if it wants to bump, then we'll just move right to the carburetor. I can't even see the hole. Just a little bit. So if this wants to bump and wants to start, then chances are, you know, we'll just move to the carburetor, and maybe this thing's been sitting around a while. The key froze up, and really can't see nothing. Maybe the key froze up, you know, because it's been sitting, and then the carburetor, of course, you know how the carburetor goes. Gets gelled up, but don't know yet. I'm just guessing because I have nothing to go on as far as how long this bike's been sitting around. But let's see. Okay. Let's see if it'll bump. Alright, everything's still on. Yeah. So it did bump. Alright, let's take this gas tank off, see what's next, see if there's a easy way to get to the carburetor. So it's looking like still the same wrench, a 10, right? Just go ahead and take this, these plastic fairings off, and it appears just these 2 bolts, and we can at least swing this gas tank up, maybe out of the way, get to the carburetor without unhooking anything, right? So I started taking the nuts and bolts off for the fuel, you know, taking the pans off, and I got the fuel can loose, and then I'm like, wait a minute. The fuel was shut off, so I pulled the line off the fuel because, you know, I wasn't sure if this thing worked or not. I pulled the line off the fuel and no fuel came off. Turned this and fuel spit right up, so this should start up now. We didn't get too far into it, but again, this is something I didn't have any idea. You know, if you're going into something you have no idea what's wrong with it, I always check the spark first. It didn't have check spark, which led to a switch, which is, you know, I guess the person that owns it should have known that as it go. You know, they should have had. Well, again, there was no information on this, but anyways, I moved to the fuel, and that was my bad because I thought it wasn't getting any fuel, and it turns out that the fuel reserve switch was turned off, so this is an easy fix. However, if we got fuel, spark, you know, the whole gamut, and it still wouldn't start, then I would have moved to the A part of the FAST acronym, the air, to see if it, you know, had compression, which would be easy to do with a compression test through the spark plug. Sometimes I do that second just to make sure there's compression. And then, of course, timing is rarely a timing issue, whether, you know, small engines, whether it's a broken keyway or, you know, whatever's going on. But we fixed this one, no problem. There was really no money involved. I'm just charging a battery for the person, and we'll see if the, you know, the guy that brought it over, see wants, you know, a switch can't cost that much, but I could put a toggle switch in for sure. But anyways, thanks for watching. See you next time.